G'day Reefers, I'm Cam the Fish Guy and you're watching Gallery Aquatica TV, and today we're actually inside Gallery Aquatica. So we've really enjoyed to make all these videos for you and to read the comments, and we've been getting a lot of questions about the shop and about our display tanks in the shop and about our personal tanks. So today we're in Gallery Aquatica and we're going to have a look at one of the display tanks in the shop. This display tank is also called the stash tank. It's Ania's display tank really, and so it's heavy with Recordia and morphs, and this is it right here. It's a Red Sea reefer. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the components of the tank, the way we've done the aquascape, the filtration, and of course all the corals. So we'll start off looking at the filtration for this tank. So being a Red Sea reefer 250, the filtration is a sump with your automatic top-up box which holds the RO water to feed into the sump. So we've chosen to put a great white skimmer on this system. It's just had a bit of a clean, so it's looking nice and new, but everything else is, as you can see, pretty dirty, and we do need to do some maintenance on this tank. But we've got a Tico 500 chiller, so this chiller fits beautifully in the space that we've got to the right of the sump, and it heats and chills, so we don't need to worry about running any other heaters in conjunction with this chiller. So we have the acrylic filter socks, which is our pre-filter. So you can see we've got some Dacron in here, and so this works really well to trap the initial waste that comes down from the tank. Then the skimmer skims out the bacterial silt and any excess organics and goes back up into the tank. So that's our filtration. We've got a unique light on this tank. So I'll show you this light and why it works so well. So this is an Illumagic style, and it has the perfect spread of light for this tank. As you can see, it's got 6 clusters of LEDs, and each of those clusters is actually individually programmable. We've recently put this new light bracket on, which I think looks absolutely beautiful. So we'll still have to just tidy up the cable. We'll probably hide that behind there, but as you can see, it's an absolutely perfect looking unit and a perfect spread for this tank. So one of the key aspects of this tank is the Aquascape. Now, as you might have heard me say in the past, it's very important that the Aquascape and the structure that you make with the rock is complemented by the type of water flow that you have and the lighting. So in the case of this tank, we've got a tank which is a little bit over 1 meter. So we've got a structure which is probably about maybe 80%, 90% the length of the tank. So it fills the tank out nicely, and it's also probably 3/4 of the height of the tank. And it also has a number of different levels. So we've got low levels, medium, and the high at the back. So the structure allows us to sit all the different morphs in place at different levels. And something else that we've done, at the very back there you can see we have the acrylic, these ones here. So they're ceramic frag racks which we've grown zoas on. So that just gives one added level of dimension, added height at the back of the tank, and so it really continues the scape up towards the back of the tank. So I think that looks really good. Now the way that we've made this scape, we've used real reef rock. We've used the base primarily, and we've epoxied it together with the Two Little Fishies Aquastick. So using the Aquastick, we're able to create a really strong structure, and in this case we made 2 bommies that would drop down on the left and the right hand side of the tank, and we've bridged between the two at 2 different points. So I'm really happy with the scape and how it works, but most importantly it's perfectly complemented by the water flow and the lighting. So given that the coral makeup of this tank is primarily Recordia and soft corals, there is not a high uptake of calcium, KH and mag from the system, So this is one of the few tanks that we run that we don't have a dosing pump on. We manually dose this tank, calcium, KH and mag, and we test the tank about once a week to ensure that we're close enough to the levels that we want to maintain. What we do dose as well is the Coral Essentials trace, the ABC, and we find that it works really well. We also use their aminos and their vitamins. So it's fairly basic dosing, manually dosing, but with good quality products, and we find that we get really good colours, and the dosing is going well for this tank as it is. So now let's have a look at some of the corals in the tank. So as you can see, the main coral that we're keeping in this tank are the Recordia. And so we've got a number of very special colours with the Recordia. You can see we've got what I would call as yellow, but often it's referred to as gold. A variety of pinks and reds. We've got salmon, there's orange. So any of the special Recordia that we've had over the last few years, we've kept in this tank specifically so that we can propagate and offer them for sale to our customers. But we also use this tank for keeping anything which is a little bit special. And so as you can see, we've got our special bird's nest coral, which the Ceratopora, which was recently featured on Reef Builders. So hopefully we'll have some frags of that in the near future. We've also got some Rhodactis and special morphs that we're keeping in here so that they can multiply, and again so we can offer them to our customers for sale. There's not a lot of fish in this tank. We have Clarkie Clown, which we put in here just because we didn't have anywhere else to put in. There's a few little triple fins, which are a really cool little fish. They're quite cryptic and haven't actually seen any of them this morning. We have a pair of Banggai Cardinals, so we like to put a pair of Banggai Cardinals in each of the tanks at the shop so that we have the chance of breeding them, and we have successfully raised and sold quite a few Banggai Cardinals in the past. So that's pretty much everything about our 250 litre display tank. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the different parts of the system and how we put it together and the components and such. And so, being the first of the display tanks from the shop that we've shown you, we do have a few more that we'll look at in the coming weeks. The next one will probably be our Temperate water display tank. Temperate water is a bit of a challenging sort of system when you live in a warm climate like Brisbane, and we've got some really interesting ways that we tackle the requirements for having a cooler water tank. The other tank which we'll be looking at is my display tank, probably the main display tank in the shop. and it's about 5 times the size of this display tank, and there's more SBS, a few more fish, and it's an interesting tank in the way that we've set it up, especially with the lighting and the filtration. So we'll be having a look at those tanks in the coming few weeks. So I really hope that you've enjoyed today's episode of Gallery Aquatica TV, and that you stay tuned for future episodes. Thanks for watching, guys. So that's our video for today. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe as well. We'll be putting out videos every week showing a new tank with new products. There's going to be lots in all the videos. I'm Cam the Fish Guy, and keep on reefing.